I spent 40 years building my construction company, raised my daughter Rebecca alone after my wife died, and sacrificed everything so my grandson Connor could have the best life possible. I had secretly prepared a massive savings account as his wedding gift, enough money for them to buy a house and take their dream honeymoon. But then came the phone call from Rebecca that shattered everything. "Dad, we've decided. It might be better if you don't come to the wedding. Her family thinks it'll be calmer. You know how you can be." They excluded me, the grandfather who gave up his entire life, from my grandson's most important day. But they had no idea about my secret $1 million account. And when they called demanding the money after the wedding, they got a shock they will never forget. Like this video if you've ever been through something like this in your own life. Okay, let's enjoy the story. I've never been the type to demand gratitude or beg for respect. That's not how I was raised. From childhood, I've had that special grit hands calloused, word solid, and a name that meant something in the neighborhood. For nearly 40 years, I ran a construction firm, working winters when concrete froze right on the shovel, summers laying roofs under scorching Sunday. I knew every nut and board like family. But my real life's work wasn't the houses, it was my daughter Rebecca. She inherited her mother's clear eyes and my stubborn streak. When my wife passed, Rebecca was just 12, and I raised her alone. All her childhood illnesses, bad grades, scraped knees, and failed crushes, I went through it all with her. Sure, I wasn't perfect, didn't spoil her with affection, but I was always her rock. That's what family meant to us, not ideal, but real. By the time I retired, I had enough money for a quiet life, plus some to help my own. I didn't jet off to resorts, splurge on fancy cars, or play golf like some folks. True happiness for me was watching Rebecca and my grandson Connor move forward. Connor grew into a good kid, smart, polite, hardworking. They're rare these days. I helped him with his first car, co-signed his student loan. Even taught him how to hang wallpaper when he and his buddies turned the basement into a studio. He always called me Grandpa, with this special pride, like sharing a secret. Those little moments were everything. They softened the pain left by my wife's death. Last fall, when Connor announced his engagement, I thought about the future for the first time in years. I didn't want to give some microwave or cash envelope at the wedding. I wanted something that would really help in life. I met with my notary and set up the inheritance so they'd have enough for a down payment on an apartment and a real unforgettable trip south. Let the young ones remember it forever. I didn't tell Rebecca or Connor. Wanted it to be a surprise, so they'd feel their family believed in them, supported them. Because family to me isn't a formality, it's effort, time, memory, care. Not perfect, but our own. I remember one cold March day, sitting in the kitchen with a cup of black tea. The phone rang Rebecca, her voice tense, polite, but that cold edge only comes before bad news. "Dad, we need to talk about the wedding," she started. Naively smiling, I thought maybe she'd ask me to prepare a toast or help pick the venue. "Go ahead," I said. The silence dragged, heavy. Then she exhaled and dropped it. "We've decided it might be better if you don't come." I didn't get it right away. You know, Connor's fiancée and her parents. They think it'll be easier for everyone. Calmer. You know how you can be. I stared at the wall above the sink, where an old photo of Connor hung. He was 6 then, holding a hammer next to the crooked birdhouse we'd built together. I didn't even feel the mug slip from my hand. Clear was all I said. That was it. I didn't argue, didn't ask questions, just hung up and sat in total silence, listening to the fridge hum and my heart pound in my ears. That same evening, I went to the basement, opened the old cabinet, and pulled out the documents for that deposit account, flipped through the papers, called the notary, and ordered it frozen. No explanations. Just did what I felt was right, like always. I didn't cry, didn't rage, didn't make a scene. I handled it how I've handled life, quick, clean, no fuss. If they didn't need me at the wedding, they didn't need my support. Simple, right? But it wasn't. My chest burned with betrayal, like being stabbed while they smiled. For decades, I'd shown up where needed, done the heavy lifting so my daughter and grandson never felt the cold I knew as a kid. And with one call, They made it clear who I was. Not family, just extra furniture. Useful until I'm in the way. Then, out the door. That night, I didn't sleep a wink. Saturday on the porch, wrapped in a blanket, watching stars vanish one by one. It was raw outside, bones aching. But I didn't go in. I knew something inside me had broken. Impossible to fix. And for the first time in years, I had no desire to try. I didn't tell anyone what Rebecca said. Not my old construction buddies, not the guys I meet monthly at the diner, not the neighbors who kept asking, "How's wedding prep? Grandpa? Got your suit picked?" I'd nod, pretend all was fine. What could I say? That my own daughter didn't invite me to my grandson's wedding, like I was some drunk uncle with issues. Not the man who built this home with his hands. What was I now? A forgotten line in someone's bio, needed by no one. No, I couldn't. Saying it aloud felt too humiliating. Days dragged on, her words looping in my head. "You know how you can be." What did that mean? That I'm too direct, too blunt, not willing to fake approval? I never yelled at Connor, never badmouthed his fiancée. Even when Rebecca whispered complaints about her family's attitude or the costs, I stayed quiet. When Connor quit school for a low-paying job, I supported him. I was always there, but reliability's out of style. Easier to shove aside someone who doesn't fit the Instagram picture. A reminder, life's not always a party. I replayed conversations in my head, some angry, some understanding, but her voice was always cold, adult, like I was a stubborn kid who didn't know better. I couldn't bring myself to call. Stayed silent. I buried myself in chores. Not work that was handled, but small home fixes. Repaired the deck, replaced gutters, sorted garage tools, anything to avoid sitting with disappointment. As wedding week hit, I felt it like changing weather. The house grew colder, though sun shone bright. Silence thickened, pressing down. The day before, Rebecca posted a photo online. Her in a blue dress, Connor in a suit, both beaming, like nothing happened. I stared long, searching for any sign they cared. Found none. If anything, relief in their eyes. On wedding day, I stayed alone, not by accident or self-pity, but choice. Made a hearty breakfast, eggs, bacon, toast. Brewed strong tea. Ignored my phone. By noon, I went to the shed, sanding an old rocking chair I'd neglected. Lost track of time, the tools whine, wood shaving smell better distraction than music. I didn't think of Connor vowing love, Rebecca toasting, relatives partying. I just worked. Work never failed me. That evening, I grilled a steak, poured whiskey, sat on the porch, watching sky turn crimson, then blue. No calls, no texts, and the emptiness I feared didn't swallow me. It sat beside me, quiet, polite, like an old friend who just listens. I thought of my wife, what she'd say about this mess. She'd be furious. She always said, "I give too much, ask nothing back." Maybe she was right. Maybe my mistake was loving unconditionally, hoping it was enough. The next morning, I stowed Connor's gift, a pricey watch engraved with his initials, date, words of wisdom, planned to give it at rehearsal dinner, but now hid it with old photos and papers. Couldn't throw it out, but giving it was impossible. That moment was gone, with part of me, but now without anger, without revenge, just understanding. Understanding's strange. It doesn't always flash sudden. Often it's a slow leak, eroding the floor until mold's everywhere. That's how I felt betrayed, bit by bit, only seeing it now. I noticed Rebecca consulting me less, Connor stopping by just to check a box. Holiday greetings formal, calls distant. Signs were there. I ignored the obvious. That Monday, I fully closed the account, called the notary, confirmed the freeze, asked for papers in hand, wanted it airtight, no ambiguity. When he asked if I needed help explaining to family, I smiled bitterly. They've already been told, clear without me. Said they didn't need my involvement. Hanging up, I felt odd, calm, not satisfaction, not vengeance, a firm decision, the kind when you stop pretending loved ones can't hurt you. I wasn't angry. I woke up. Days after the wedding were weird. Not as painful as expected, but empty like walking a house post-move. Everything in place, photos on walls, old leather scent in the chair, clock's steady tick but a void beneath. No call from Rebecca. No thanks, no words, not even leftover cake, or all went well. Like I'd been neatly erased, scalpel sharp, no trace. I waited for resentment to turn rage, justifying what I'd done, but only quiet realization, like a book's last page slamming shut one I didn't know I was writing. I tried normal life. Mornings at the corner diner, meeting same guys for 10 years, ex-builders, retirees, chatted politics, prices, road digs, new mall ruining the view. All asked about the wedding. So, Sam teared up when grandson tied the knot? Someone teased. I'd smile, sip coffee, say shortly, "Didn't make it." Thick pause followed. No prying. They'd glance, shift topics, ask no more. Home silence grew oppressive. Account docs neatly filed. No access without my signature, and I had none planned. Notary Andrew Lawson called again gently. Still sticking to it? I just confirmed what they insisted on. I cut. And that was it. Then photos poured in, online albums, tags, smiles, and hundreds of shots. Connor in sharp blue suit. Fiancée Olivia in a dress costing like my first car. Rebecca between them. Beaming with bouquet like mother of the year. I studied her face like old blueprints, seeking cracks, weak spots. She looked purely happy, at peace. My absence left no shadow in her eyes. One photo hit hard, Connor hugging Olivia's parents. Caption, surrounded by love. Stared long, not sure what I expected. Maybe miss you, Grandpa, or a toast nod hint I mattered. Nothing. The wedding lived online, digested me, spat out like I'd never been. I logged off socials, deleted the app, didn't want constant reminders I wasn't part of their lives. In the shadows, I opened the old chest in the bedroom, untouched for years. Inside, photos, letters, Rebecca's childhood trinkets, her first school award, crayon drawing of our house, dried prom ribbon. I kept every bit, every memory, ran fingers over pages, familiar handwriting, and something cracked inside. I mourned not just the wedding exclusion, but my whole past. Years of love, care, effort, now just duty thanks on New Year's. I remembered my wife. She'd never tolerate this. Fiery spirit. Didn't let anyone walk over her. I heard her voice. Don't let them wipe their feet on you, Sam. You're important. You're needed. But she was gone, and I was tired of fighting ghosts. I packed it back, photos, drawings, crafts, boxed it, carried to the attic. Couldn't toss. Not that callous. But stumbling over a living past? No more. Needed space to breathe, figure life without those who deemed me unnecessary. Sunday, I drove out of town. Lake 40 miles north, where my wife, Rebecca, and I camped summers in a tent. Hadn't been in years. Brought folding chair, thermos tea, notebook. Saturday by water hours. Watching sun glints dance on waves. Silence, special, not punishment, but breather. Wrote Connor a letter not to send, but to unload. Said I love him. Always have. But love without respect is manipulation. Won't be manipulated anymore. As sun dipped behind trees, something settled inside. Not forgiveness, illusion, but clarity. No more anger, not even real sadness. Just stopped pretending. Stopped giving all, hoping for oncoming thanks. Folded the letter, tucked in notebook, drove home in full quiet. The celebration ended. I wasn't there, but I survived. Alone? Yes, but aware. And that's worth something. 8 days post-wedding, the phone rang. Almost ignored, usually sales or pharmacies that hour, but number vaguely familiar. Dad, Rebecca's voice thin, cautious, testing ground. I stayed silent. Let her sit in the quiet she created. She inhaled nervously. I need to talk. Please. Voice shaky, like childhood fearing punishment. I leaned back, cold tea in hand. Speak, I said calmly. Pause again. I didn't want to exclude you. It wasn't just my decision. Not even mostly mine. Connor, Olivia's family. They thought it'd be calmer. She rushed, fearing her words fall out. They worried it'd be tense. You know how you can be. Trailed off. They needed no distractions. I let it hang. So I'm the distraction. Not a question, obvious, but hearing aloud hit different. Rebecca exhaled loudly, irritated. I wasn't easing this. No, Dad. Not that you distract. Just wanted it smooth. Weddings are fragile and you're complicated. Extra. Embarrassing to invite. I finished for her. I didn't say that, she flared. I didn't mean it like that. I tried objecting, but Connor said. She cut off, realizing it changed nothing. Everyone thought it'd be easier. I chuckled, not joyful, but dry, scorched. Easier without me? Her voice cracked. Dad, please, not like this. Connor didn't mean to hurt you. He's young. Didn't get how it feels to erase you. But now he does. We all do, especially after learning about the account. There it was, the call's reason. She paused, waiting. I stayed silent, sipped icy tea, let her stew. I didn't even know you had that account, she said, lost. Why didn't you tell us? Wanted it as a gift, I replied slowly, clear. Not a deal. Not payment for patience, a real gift from a grandpa who thought he was part of your lives. We messed up, she interrupted hastily. Badly. But freezing the account, is that fair? It's Connor's future. He's just starting out. I closed my eyes. I started once too, I muttered. When I married your mom, we had an old beater and a dumpster couch. No help, no accounts, just our work and faith in tomorrow. My voice hardened. You think I set this up so Connor gets inheritance without looking me in the eye at his wedding? Dad, no, let me finish, I cut. All my life, I worked so you and Connor had more than I did. Skipped holidays at jobs, no vacations to pay your braces, first car, tuition, there every time you needed help, every time you asked. All I wanted back a seat at your table. I heard her breathing shift, heavy finally sinking in. You can't imagine how I felt, I continued, voice trembling despite calm. Opening my phone, seeing strangers in my spot, your happy face with people who barely know Connor while I sit here like a ghost. I swallowed. So no, Rebecca. I'm not unfreezing it. Not now, maybe never. But Dad, we need it. We put down a deposit on an apartment. We built plans without me. Keep building. Silence hung on the line. Just her breath and wall clock ticking. Then she said what I didn't expect. So, that's it. You're cutting us off. I looked out the window. Through dawn haze, garden glowed, and I remembered Connor kicking a ball there. No, I said quietly. You cut me off. I'm just catching up. Her voice broke. But I didn't wait. Ended the call, set phone down, stared, hoping it'd ring different. It didn't, and I didn't want it to. I stood, stepped onto porch, morning air sharp, piercing like waking inside, inhaled deep, hoping to exhale the talk. No victory, no cruelty, just clarity. For the first time in years, I knew exactly my place in their lives. On the sidelines, beyond their convenience, below priorities. And I stopped pretending otherwise. Silence after that talk was louder than any fight. Rebecca didn't call. Connor didn't text. First days, I thought they were gathering thoughts, plotting, then hoped my words hit home. By week's end, nothing changed. I realized they just didn't know how to talk without needing something. Then a letter came polite but firm, from some family lawyer, hyphenated name. Guy never held a shovel. Not threatening, but slippery phrases like prior expectations, verbal agreements, potential consequences. Looked like war's first shot, not resolution. They wanted account details. Were there promises? Discussed dates? Intentional freeze or heat of moment? I laughed at that line. Heat or planned like only two options. They missed my decision, wasn't revenge or hurt. It was self-preservation. I didn't punish them. I protected me. Didn't reply right away. Needed thought, not doubt, but knowing it'd get harder. Days later, long letter from Connor. Started formal. Grandpa, hi. Hope you're well. Like weeks apart, not this rift. But tone shifted quick. Explained house at risk, honeymoon cut. They counted on the account. Even unspoken, rumors made it part of plans. No direct apology for wedding. Something like, sorry you got upset. Wasn't personal. Meaning, knew it had hurt, but didn't care much. Read twice. Deleted. Not spite. Just knew any reply sparked gaslighting, smoothing for cash. Wouldn't be their ATM anymore. Wouldn't let my efforts turn to digits and calculations. Rumors spread family-wide. Sister called. Voice careful. Sam heard something happened post-wedding. Clearly wanted to mediate. Probe. I explained shortly. Not invited. Froze account. No contact. She sighed. Defended grandkids. You know how youth is now. So much on them. They don't always think. Thought enough to hire a lawyer, I noted dryly. She quieted. Soon, cousin I hadn't spoken to in 10 years messaged online. Hey, what's up with you, Rebecca Connor? They're upset? Didn't reply. Why? Suddenly, everyone remembered me when I blocked their gain. Before, silence. One day, trimming bushes, car pulled in. Rebecca stepped out in pricey jacket. She'd mocked those when we shopped. Tired, pale, sleepless. Approached wary, like I'd bite. Dad, she said, can we talk? Didn't invite in. Set shears down, wiped hands on jeans, nodded to porch swing. We sat, long silence. Didn't come to fight, she started finally. Want to fix this? I looked at her truly. The girl I raised seemed buried under years. Cold stares, but unsure I could trust old Rebecca. Listening, I said. She talked Connor, how things crumbled. Tough times. Unexpected end. But more she spoke. More, it felt like bargaining. Mentioned account once, but expectation laced every word. When done, I spoke slow, like laying bricks. Didn't do this to hurt you. Needed self-respect back. You made clear I'm not who I thought. You're right. But mine to set boundaries. Won't be a wallet for those valuing me only for money, I said, eyes firm on hers. Tears welled, but I didn't waver. Too long I'd silenced, smoothed edges, kept peace illusory needed only by me. Rebecca stood. So you're done with us? No, I rose. Just done pretending. No hug goodbye. No love you. No sorry. Turned. Got in car. Drove off, no glance back. I watched without anger, without tears, but calm I hadn't felt in years. First time, I chose not to endure, but defend myself. That's key about boundaries. They don't erase pain, just give it a stop. Weeks after porch meet, house truly quiet but not empty. Honest. No more masking hurt with generosity, patching rejection with gifts. Let wounds show not to prove, but remind, I matter. Valuable, even uninvited. Life didn't change radically. Mail came. Kettle boiled mornings. Sun rose over yard. But inside, shift. Small steps. Insignificant to others, huge for me. Took post-facto wedding invite, unopened, burned in backyard barrel. No anger, no drama, quiet farewell to old me. Always seeking approval. Stopped rifling account docs. Waiting apologies. Living expectant. Instead, gave time where truly needed. Volunteered at local fun-building veteran homes like me, forgotten by family. Wood shaving smell. Tools weight returned life's feel. Here, no wedding questions, no judgment, just accepted as one. Finally pulled dusty motorcycle from garage since Rebecca's teens. 1978 Jawa. Auction buy. Dream to restore. Always, no time builds family Connor. Now, with inner space, craved metal. Cleaned carburetor. Overhauled engine. Ordered parts online with thrill long absent. Bike symbolized. Parts always there. Just needed time. Attention to assemble right. Rebecca didn't return. Connor sent short, cold letter. Hope you're good. Olivia and I will manage. No warmth hint, no bridge invite, just polite period. Didn't reply. Said all once, no repeat. Hardest wasn't break, but how easily they moved on. No real mend efforts, no true pain-like issue was me. But time made it relief. When you stop begging love, you see easy attachments. New habits. Weekend lavish breakfasts, eggs with bacon, pancakes, fresh coffee like for Rebecca once. Ate on porch, old records playing, wind chasing leaves. Stopped chasing past, built present, where no one must accept me. Even wrote again. Short letters to wife, unsent. Notes on fund work, thoughts on legacy, forgiveness. Journaling healed. Realized I didn't lose all just shed illusions. Now building solid. Own peace. Spring, revised will. Saturday, in Notary Andrew Lawson's office, flipping papers with rare calm. Fully changed account structure. Removed Connor, Rebecca as heirs. Not spite clarity. Funds to scholarship fund for hands-on workers' kids needing real chance. Added bold. This isn't compensation for betrayal. Reward for respect, love, reciprocity. Andrew asked. Sure? I nodded. Surer than ever. First time, acted not from duty or buying future spot, but reclaiming my life. Summer, rolled, restored bike out. Wind hit face, engine roared. Hot asphalt smelled sun. Green forests blurred by. Felt alive again. Not quiet observer at others' life party, but man who stopped asking permission to matter. Don't know what Rebecca tells people now. Maybe I'm bitter, changed, unforgiving. But I know truth. Didn't change. Just stopped pretending. Didn't let go past. Let go future version, where needed but unloved. Now, in this new life's quiet, I finally have room to breathe. If this story hits close, if you've chosen between family loyalty and self-respect, like, subscribe, comment what you think. Your voice matters. Stories remind. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's essential. More powerful tales ahead to touch everyone. Stay with us.